this video is to tell you about our One Day Flake system. So the One Day Flake system was designed actually for the contractor who wanted to turn a system in a day, you know, a full flake type coating in a day. Very popular with garage people or commercial people that need to get in and out and whatnot. So it's a good system for that. It's also a low VOC system, meaning low in volatile organic compounds, which is kind of important to people now. So it's designed, you know, for that specific purpose. I would say it's probably one of our more popular systems, but the point of this video is to give a brief overview about what is involved in that type of system. So what you're producing with that is, you know, a full flake type system, and there's obviously a lot of color choices, which we stock over 50 different color choices of the flake, okay? And you're creating that, you know, full flake type surface. There's an example of the different colors of flake that you could do. So let's just go into, you know, what's in that system, and, you know, what's involved to do that if you were to decide to go that route, or if you're interested in doing that system. So briefly, you know, there's prep, there's base coat, there's flake, and then there's a top coat. Okay, those are the four main components of that system. So let's start with prep. Prep is done with a diamond grinder, typically a 2 or 3 headed type grinder. And this is very important. You want to do this dry. Okay, you're going to grind dry. You're not acid washing. We can go into that in a different video. You're not acid washing or power washing or anything. You're trying to create that profile in the concrete. And that profile is going to mimic like a light broom finish, and that's to get the good grab, you know. So you create the profile, and a diamond tool, this is an example of one. It goes on the bottom of a grinder, and it hooks to a vacuum type system, and then you grind and you vac, and that's your prep. Now, if you need to do any repairs, that's part of it too. And our repair product is called Instant Medic. Okay, Instant Medic is a 1-to-1 repair product that you make small batches, because it actually goes really quick, which is why people love it, because it cures out quick. Mix it 1-to-1, stir it up for a little bit in a small cup, pour it in the crack. You know, within 15, 30 minutes, it really depends on temperature a lot too, it gets hard, and then you grind that flush, and that's your repair. It goes in like warm honey, dries rock hard really quick. So that's a very important part of doing that. You don't want to use a cementous type repair product like a Quickcrete or something like that, because it could rattle out of that crack. You want to weld it with our Instant Medic. So after that's done and your surface is clean, dry, and profiled, those are very important things. Clean, dry, and profiled. You're good to go with the coating. The first step with the coating is our Polybase 98 product. And I'll briefly tell you about this as well. Again, all of our products, if you're curious about Polybase 98 and want to learn more, you can go to the product page, and then there's a data sheet. And many times we have some application videos and stuff like that. So it'll tell you set times, mix times, all of these things. But the Polybase 98 is a 2-to-1 polyurea. We have this available in 2 different set times, summer and winter. Summer, you need more time because it's hot. So it's slower. Winter, you want it to kick over because it's so darn cold out. So winter is quick, summer is slow. This is also pre-pigmented. We have it in medium gray, and we have it in a tan color as well. So again, a 2-to-1 product. This is your base coat that you broadcast the flake into. We typically tell people you don't want to use the whole 3-gallon kit. You're going to use it smaller batches, because you're basically painting the floor in a sense, using an 18-inch 3/8 snap roller. Of course, you're going to stick this on a pole and whatnot, dip it into a pan, rolling it on the floor, and you're broadcasting your flake as you walk out of the room, okay? Mix this up. Again, it's a 2-to-1 type product. This is a 2-gallon. This is a 1-gallon. unless you have a big floor, you really don't want to mix the whole kit up at a time, because once you mix it, you get about 15 minutes to get it where you want it, and then probably another 30 or so to broadcast the flake. We like to say to use 3-quart batches with this product, where you're going to use 2 quarts of A, 1 quart of B, mix it together, okay? And when you mix, you're going to use a paddle mixer. Do not stir stick. None of our products, we recommend that type of method. You know, in a bucket and a drill for about 2 minutes is what we recommend with that. So after the Polybase 98 is down, and you could use spike shoes to walk on it if needed. These are slide-in type spike shoes. They help to walk in the product. You just click your feet in them and go. So those are good to walk in and broadcast your flake. The flake, so now that you're done with this and you got the Polybase 98 down, and you picked out your flake, it comes in 25-pound boxes. The flake is generally 1/4 of an inch, or we have other sizes like 1/8 and hybrid, okay? Speaking of the 1/4 of an inch, you're just gonna grab it either out of the box, or a lot of people like to put it in a bucket and walk with it and broadcast your flakes to rejection. With this type of coating system, you always want to do to rejection. Polybase 98 is not meant to be seen, so you want to broadcast it to rejection. So after that's dry, again, refer to the data sheets. Typically in the summertime, a lot of people are recoating in a couple hours or so. You're going to use a scraper. This attaches to a pole, actually, and you want to scrape the flakes smooth, okay? The flakes are sitting like this on your floor after you broadcast them and it dries. The point is you're knocking them down flat because you don't want jagged pieces. So you scrape the flake, and then you're going to vacuum and leaf blow that off the floor, because you don't want a bunch of loose flakes on the floor as you get ready for your clear coat, okay? Now the clear coat, you're going to use likely our Poly 90, which is popular with contractors. Again, it's a low VOC product. Dries pretty quick for return to service. If you want more time, we have a product called Poly 85 Slow. That gives you a ton of roll time on the floor. Great for bigger floors, or maybe you don't have the experience or the people and you need more time. You've just got oodles of time with the 85 Slow. It is a 1-to-1 product. 2 and 10-gallon kits. Here's an example of a 2-gallon kit. Many good benefits of this product as far as the usage of it. One, it's a 1-to-1 mix. Very simple. You mix it up 1-to-1. The great thing about it is after you mix it, it has great bucket life, meaning it'll hang out in the bucket for a while. 45 minutes or so in the bucket. It can hang out. Okay. Pour it on the floor as needed. And then you're going to use a flat squeegee, okay? This has a little cover on it right here, but it's a flat squeegee. And you go over the flake and you immediately back roll it with a 3/8 inch, 18-inch roller. And then just don't touch it. You're just laying it out and you don't touch it. So you're squeegeeing it on the floor, 3/8 snap, walking through the floor in your spiked shoes, and then you just let it be. That should be around 175 square feet a gallon or so type application, because again, you're grouting. What you're doing is you're grouting with the squeegee. Okay, it's very important that you hit 100% coverage with the squeegee because you want to grout all of those flakes. Okay, and then you're back rolling that kind of smooths it out. Again, if you want a traction additive, if you need more traction additive, a popular one is our Monkey Grip. It's a 40 mesh clear bead, actually a polypropylene type bead that you can add to the 90 or 85 Slow as you're mixing. Again, 2-minute type drill mix application. You can add some of this and it adds texture to that surface. Again, refer to the data sheets for dry times and whatnot on that. But that is a brief overview of our 1-day flake system. Again, it's you're prepping, clean, dry, and profile. Polybase 98, you roll it out, dip and roll out of a pan is the favorite method. You broadcast flakes in it to rejection. You cannot see the base coat anymore. You let that dry, you scrape it smooth, vacuum, leaf blow, and then your Poly 90 top coat with a squeegee, back rolling it with a 3/8 inch nap roller, and you're walking away from that floor completed. So that's the overview of this system.